Well, you never know when Coach Elko's going to strike with the Johnny Manziel gift, but it came on a Tuesday morning where he dropped it and he got the Aggie faithful aroused and excited once again. And this time he dropped a little bit of a hint. He dropped a couple of cloud puffs, and I thought that indicated a little bit of speed. And indeed it did. A&M adds Mississippi State transfer receiver, sophomore in college, Mario Craver. Productive freshman year for Mario Carver. Craver. I'm gonna keep confusing it. Mario Craver, 17 receptions, 368 yards, 3 touchdowns, 21.6 average per catch. Big play guy, tremendous speed, tremendous route running ability. He's absolutely a guy that trends to be a slot receiver, can cut either direction on a dime, just really agile, really fast, sure-handed, quick receiver. I'll go ahead and run his highlights in the background while we kind of go through the room and talk about Mario himself. But you can see in the highlight reel, you add more speed. You added speed in Micah Hudson. You added big playability in Micah Hudson. And Micah Hudson probably tends to be like a Z or an X receiver. I'm sure he could play any position. But Mario Craver is your prototype slot receiver at the college level. This is his high school highlight reel, and I think it's still pretty pertinent being that he is going to be a sophomore and, not a bust onto the scene freshman year for a rebuilding program at Mississippi State, but a very effective season. His biggest game, kind of funny, was against A&M where he had 5 receptions, and he was just a solid target the entire year. I don't think he went a game without getting a reception. So you need this kind of productivity. You lose Jabri Barber, and I know Jabri Barber didn't have the best statistical year for A&M, but he was a constant target out of the slot position for Marcel Reed down the stretch. I would say he was the most consistently open receiver, was a solid safety valve, solid in his short routes. But you get that with Mario Craver, you also get big playability. Because not only does he have the route running, not only does he have the hands, look at this highlight reel. He has the make you miss, he has the speed, he has the cuts, he has the angles. This is a guy that you need to be an explosive offense, a guy that can make safeties think twice about selling out for run, a guy that you're not going to want to put a linebacker on at any time ever. This is a serious slot threat at receiver, and A&M is going to be so much better for it. So let's talk about the room right now. You obviously have Noah Thomas. I think he's still a day one starter. You still have Terry Bussey. I think he's a day one starter. And then you add Micah Hudson and Mario Craver, where I think Craver probably, it will trend to threaten starting reps to start the season. Micah Hudson will probably more of a ramp up, being that he didn't really have a consistent freshman year. I think you kind of think about what Des Ricks did for A&M last year, where it took him a couple games to become a starter. Took a couple lumps with his play early in the year, but he kind of got better and better over the course of the season. I expect that from Micah Hudson. Could be wrong. He could bust onto the scene. It could take even longer. Who knows? But then Mario Craver, I think he could be a day one threat here. I think he's a guy that can just go in and play that slot receiver position from day one and just be a great target for Marcel Reed. Reed's weapons are increasing by the day. Holman Wiggins and Mike Elko really doing their job in the portal. You added the freshman that kind of raised the ceiling in the room in Hudson. And I would argue that Mario Craver raises both the floor and the ceiling of this room with his upside, but also that he already has that college experience under his belt, and he's going to come in and bring that to the room. Now you have 3 guys with college experience. You feel a lot better about that. You'll also bring in Jerome Miles. You have a plethora of young guys, Ernest Campbell, Ashton Bethel-Roman. You have Isaiah Williams. You have a couple of other freshmen that are coming in. The future of this room looks really, really bright, and now you add some young experience to the room. So I would argue that A&M still needs to go find themselves one more receiver at least with college experience. It sounds like Nick Anderson's going LSU. It sounds like Concepcion's going Bama or elsewhere. So you're going to have to look elsewhere, but there are more receivers entering the portal every single day. The upside of this offense is starting to look much, much better than it did last year. We'll talk about it again. Last year, you didn't have a bunch of just explosive threats on the field. You didn't have a bunch of speed at the receiver position. That's changing within a week before our eyes, because you add Hudson, you add Craver, you get Reuben Owens back next year. Hopefully you get Le'Veon Moss back. Those are 4 big play threats off the go. And then you have a bunch of young guys that can maybe work themselves into that, like an Ashton Bethel-Roman, maybe an Isaiah Williams. Someone young could always step up. And you're looking like you might have 6 or 7 receivers that you might be able to trust next year. Now, this is a lot of youth in the room still. You still want to add one more floor raiser, in my opinion. But Marcel Reed's weapons are becoming very plentiful. And Colin Klein's going to have to figure out a way to get these guys involved because we didn't have as many receiver targets as we would have hoped for this season. But with the talent you have now, you have to believe there'll be more of an effort to get more guys involved, and that's just going to make this Aggie offense that much more threatening. So, guys, quick update today. Do you like these quick videos, these quick hitters, where I just give my quick thoughts on these primetime, additions to the team? I like doing them. They're easy to make, and I like to get my voice out there whenever it happens and it's fresh. And then we'll kind of delve into it deeper when we do the live show. Give me your thoughts. How do you feel about Craver? How do you feel about this receiver room? And what other targets do you want to see A&M get? Thanks for watching, guys. Gig 'em.